A nurse has told of losing a 14-year-old patient to COVID-19 after her anti-vaxxer parents forbid doctors from intubating her. Twitter user @jessicam6946, a nurse practitioner in the intensive care unit at a U.S. hospital, said 4 patients died of the devastating condition in one shift. But she insisted that each death could have been prevented had they been vaccinated. She wrote on Twitter, "Tonight I helplessly held the hand of and stroked the hair of a beautiful 14-year-old girl as she exited his world. She was looking forward to starting high school and eventually becoming a veterinarian. It was so senseless. I truly believe she could have been saved if her parents had not forbidden us from intubating her." A free vaccination would have prevented it all. This little girl was robbed of her whole life and of fulfilling all of her dreams. The teenage girl had been in the unit for 9 days and had been able to communicate with hospital staff until her condition worsened. The nurse listed more examples of people who could not be saved because they had refused coronavirus vaccines. About 2 hours later, we were unable to save a 25-year-old mother of one who was 15 weeks pregnant. She had refused the vaccines because of the lies about them causing infertility and harming her baby. Liars killed her, her baby, and robbed a 2-year-old little boy of his mommy and sibling. Not to mention robbing a husband of his wife and child. The oldest person who died on the shift was only 45 years old, Jessica said. It was the first time since late March we have lost more than 3 COVID patients in a single shift, she added. Then we find out this morning a co-worker had 2 of her tires cut in one of our employee parking lots overnight. Fortunately, security caught and was able to detain the a-hole until police arrived and took him into custody. She ended the Twitter thread by condemning former President Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Dr. Joseph Mercola, and Robert Kennedy Jr. for fueling the anti-vax movement throughout the pandemic. "Fuck the big orange buffoon, DeSantis, Facebook, Fox News, anti-vaxxers, MAGAs, Dr. Mercola, Robert Kennedy Jr., all parents who believe these killers over proven science, and all other killers who spread anti-vaccine lies," she wrote. "I can't deal with people right now. I love you guys." The U.S. recorded more than 1,000 COVID-19 deaths for the first time since March, just days after Jessica's tweets. On Tuesday, 1,004 people died with a 7-day rolling average of 710. It takes the death toll from the pandemic to 623,329 people, the highest number officially reported by any country in the world. Nearly all deaths in the U.S. are among those who have not been vaccinated. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, said the south of the country remains the epicenter of the outbreak, and Florida reported a record of almost 26,000 new cases per day last week. Jessica's tweet about death of the 14-year-old girl received more than 116,000 likes and has been retweeted over 30,000 times. Thousands of social media users have commented on the thread and shared their outrage over unnecessary deaths stemming from misinformation about the COVID-19 vaccine. What kind of parents prevent their child from intubation? One person asked. Another poster added, "I can't even begin to imagine what it is to live day to day trying so desperately to save those who refuse the vaccine, especially the children who had no say either way." A later response read, "I am so sorry. I have no idea why you still put up with all this, but the majority of us are grateful for you and your faithful work.